Joining us now to talk about all this is Mayor John Nations of Chesterfield, who is an integral part of this campaign. Mr. Mayor, welcome aboard. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
As the piece we just played concluded, it said that this is going to depend on people who don't ride Metro, since a majority of the people in St. Louis County do not. How do you make the compelling case to them that expansion and maintenance of the Metro system is as valuable as it is to people who ride it?
Frankly, by letting them know what the facts are. Throughout this region, our point is that even if you never step on a Metro bus, even if you never step on a light rail, even if you never need call a ride for the elderly and the disabled, the fact is you rely on it. Let me tell you a story. Last spring, when I was able to negotiate the separate deal to keep buses running out in Chesterfield, even though there were cuts across the region, my city thought this was so important we negotiated a separate situation for Chesterfield. I got very interesting telephone call from a woman, and the story kind of highlights the point. She called me the next morning. It was all over the news, and she said, John, I want you to know I was over at a nursing home over on Olive, and there's a bunch of people standing around talking about you and the fact that you saved their jobs because you saved their buses. And they had turned in their 2-week notices. They thought they were going to be out of work. Now they're going to be able to keep their jobs. They're very grateful. I said, I appreciate the phone call, of course, but she said, that's not why I'm calling. And I said, well, why are you calling? She said, frankly, Mayor, I'm calling because I'm embarrassed. I said, what do you have to be embarrassed about? She said, Mayor, you know how it is. I live in Chesterfield. I don't ride the bus. I haven't ridden the bus probably in years. I couldn't tell you what year it was. But I found out this morning that the people who take care of my mother and the people my mother now loves like her family, they ride the bus. And she said, I'm embarrassed because I didn't even vote to give them a ride to work. Now, that's an example how even if you never step on a Metro bus, how it truly affects you. The truth is that public transportation affects virtually everybody in the region because it's an integral part of our job growth, an integral part of our economic development policy, and it's an integral part of our overall transportation policies in the region.
Okay, what happens if this goes down in flames like the last one did?
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent question, Charles, because with every proposal like this, people say it's a tax, there's a cost. What people also need to understand is with this proposal, there's a huge cost if it fails. What happens immediately? Now, last year, Metro was forced because of funding to cut about 1/3 of its service. If this proposal is defeated on April 6th, first thing that happens is about 650 people at Metro will lose their jobs. Now, that's a huge job hit for the region all by itself. Secondly, the system itself will be cut back from about 50% of what it is. So it won't really be a system which can serve the region and be a tool of economic growth. Third, what happens is the many people who rely on public transportation, and there are thousands of them throughout the region, who need public transportation in order to stay off the welfare rolls and stay on the payrolls, are now going to be cut off from their own jobs. So it's not just the jobs at Metro, it's the people who ride it every day, the industries, our hospitals, our universities, our healthcare and nursing home facilities, which rely on it probably more than other industries, are going to be severely impacted, as will the region. Now, let me ask you this. Let me point this out. We're in the 21st century, and the fact is that we are competing with cities all over the country and now around the world. If you do not have good public transportation, seriously, do you really believe, does anybody really believe that this region is going to be in a position to compete for national and regional employers and investment in the St. Louis area by saying, we don't have public transportation, and by the way, we're probably not going to for a generation?
Now, there are two components to this: maintaining current service, using it for operating expenses, and then possibly expanding service with the bus rapid transit, possibly Metrolink. I mean, the Show Me Institute did a study saying that the current system, fine, it doesn't need to be shrunk any, but that expanding it's ridiculous because there just aren't enough people in this area to make it, especially Metrolink, viable public transit, and it just costs too much and we can't afford it.
Well, I haven't seen the Show Me Institute because that position is relatively new. What is important is the people who are criticizing this proposal are harping away on the point that they're calling it a Metrolink tax and it's all about Metrolink expansion. Frankly, nothing could be further from the truth. What this proposal does, if it passes, is A, we restore the cuts that were made last year, and then we expand the system. But an expansion of the system is through Metrobus that everybody's familiar with, the Call-A-Ride, which serves our elderly and our disabled, which is an integral portion of what we're doing, and then B, introducing bus rapid transit throughout the region, which would be a new type of service with bigger buses, limited stops, and the ability to coordinate traffic signals. Frankly, something we would all like to have. Drive through traffic, hold green lights, and be able to move people more rapidly. Once we do that, then it's a matter of where could Metrolink go in the future. And the long-range plan for Metro and the long-range plan as adopted by East West Gateway makes this very clear. This is not a tax just for Metrolink. We need to have a transit system. What's important is that we have a transit system that serves the entire region and the entire county. So no matter where you live in the county, you have access to public transportation, you have access to jobs, and you have a way to make your life independent and stay off the welfare rolls.
The last time this failed, or was proposed and failed in November of 2008, bad public reaction. They felt Metro had mismanaged things. They certainly felt that the fiasco with the cross-county extension and then the failed lawsuit all added up to a giant credibility problem for Metro. People frankly felt that they could not trust the agency with their money, and that's why it went down. Do you think Metro's done enough of a mea culpa to turn enough minds around to pass this?
Well, the first person's mind they had to turn around was mine. And as a matter of fact, I serve on the East-West Gateway Board. I have met with Metro and East-West Gateway. I went through the entire cross-county thing. What is interesting, which is why I like to talk about this, is because if you have difficulties in any transit agency or any public agency, the answer is not, okay, let's put them out of business. You know, if the Rams have a bad season, you don't say, let's sell the team. You say, wait a minute, we got to get this right. What the public demanded and what the political leadership of the region demanded was, if you got problems, we want them fixed. We want them fixed now. Whoever was accountable, we want them out. The region did something very, very important. They reached out to one of our best corporate managers and corporate assets and great civic leaders, Bob Baer, who frankly turned United Van Lines into the country's largest mover, headquartered out in Fenton. They coaxed him out of retirement. He's the one who years ago put together the partnership to build the Edward Jones Dome. That's why there's a Robert Baer Plaza, the Edward Jones Dome. He went in, he headed it for a while, in fact, in the 70s, years ago, so he was familiar with it, a transit guy. Got rid of the people who were responsible, turned the agency around, dynamic leadership, as a matter of fact, dynamic management. And what we see now at Metro is a transit agency that's been transformed with a new management team. They're now regarded as one of the most efficient. They got the best on-time percentage. Their maintenance division, frankly, just won the national competition of maintenance divisions in the country.
The final question, Mr. Mayor. Missouri doesn't give diddly to mass transit.
State government you're talking about.
The state government of Missouri doesn't give diddly to mass transit as opposed to Illinois. This Metro system is largely funded by whatever federal money is available and local ratepayers. How long can that continue? The state of Missouri is, hemorrhaging money. They're not going to have any. Do you think the combination of shrinking federal dollars for transit and local money are going to be enough to keep this thing running?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. If this passes, we'll be able to have a true regional transit system. I can't control what happens in Jefferson City. It's true, most states contribute about 23% to their public transit. Metro gets less than 1%. It is truly locally funded and with a combination of federal money as well. But with this proposal, what the people can rely on confidently is they have a transit agency that they can confidently invest their money in, which can deliver a product confidently to the public that will have a good transit system regardless of what happens in Jefferson City. Nobody can predict that. Clearly they've got huge budget issues in Jefferson City, but we're going to have a transit system in the St. Louis region which will allow us to promote our economy, grow our economy, and grow jobs, which is important, Charles. The fact is, back in the 90s when we were talking about these issues, I made the point, as a lot of people did, if we do not have a regional public transportation system, we're simply not going to be in a position to have regional economic growth and regional job creation. Look what we just found out here in the last few weeks. As of December 31, 2009, we had about 1,320,000 jobs in the metropolitan statistical area, government term for the St. Louis region. That's about 4,000 jobs less than we had 10 years earlier. Everything that we've been predicting since the 90s about the infrastructure that needs to be built in this region is sadly coming true. Now, if we want to have a situation where we're not sitting here 10 years from now